Did you know that the Mayo Clinic website says that being emotionally exhausted shows up as anxiety, apathy, depression, feeling hopeless, feeling powerless or trapped, irritability, lack of focus or forgetfulness, lack of motivation, having negative thinking, feeling nervous, and being very tearful. We know how we feel and we know something's wrong. And to understand that maybe it's being emotionally exhausted, I think that's something that we should consider. We should understand that maybe what I'm just going through is I'm emotionally exhausted. And then if we know that that's how it feels and we know that that doesn't feel good, then, just wanting to feel better is the step that we need to take. By wanting to feel better, we're going to find ways that will improve our situation. The root of the issue is always that when we feel this way, it's because there's some sort of an imbalance. And we know that vibrationally and intrinsically, we are drawn to the need for holistic balance. So it's important that we understand if emotional exhaustion is just a type of imbalance. And if we can realize that, we're not out of balance and feeling that feeling of just being overwhelmed, we're not out of balance like that because others are so demanding. It's almost always because we are so relentless with ourselves to be perfect, to be giving more. Without realizing it, a lot of the stories we're telling ourselves and a lot of the intrinsic motivation has to do with seeking validation and seeking for somebody to finally say, okay, you did enough. You achieved my level of acceptance or my level of love. You've achieved the recognition that somewhere in our childhood, somewhere in our past, we did achieve it sometimes. And by doing so, now we've been chasing it. At least that's been my experience. We know what it feels like to gain somebody's recognition, and it feels so good that sometimes, we perpetually are seeking that. That's what is emotionally exhausting. And you might have people who actually are really in your corner, are really pretty good about giving you validation. But what if you're not even noticing it because you don't really believe it about yourself? We all go through this, working to please others and seeking validation for that, but it is going to get to the point in life that when we're so emotionally exhausted, we have to say, okay, let me stop waiting around for somebody to come along, make me feel worthy and boost my confidence that what I'm doing matters. We're going to have to do that for ourselves. And in my own experience, I did this for many, many years until I became aware of it. And once I became aware of it, I kept saying, God, I want to do differently. And when we want to do differently and we're asking for God to kind of clean up the way we view life, the way we view ourselves, we can find a better balance. We can find a sense of not thinking, why won't somebody make me feel worthwhile? We'll learn that we have to pull back and own that for ourselves. I never doubted the importance of what I was doing in serving and giving. On principle, those were things that I valued very greatly. And I felt that if I said I was going to do something, then in my integrity, I wanted to step forward and complete that. And I wanted to do it to the best of my ability. But I do still think that in a way I was using it to eventually get to the point of feeling validated in some way. And, as soon as you make that shift, as soon as you become awake that maybe some of your emotional exhaustion comes from that place of relentlessly, forcing yourself to live up to some imagined expectation, then you immediately know that you're no longer stuck in that hidden agenda in the back of your mind. And instead, you much more fully give of yourself. The very things that you want to do, to be of service and so forth, you do it without that hidden agenda. And it does change how you feel about whether or not it's emotionally exhausting or not. So I really want to encourage you that, if you've come to the point where you're just aware that, I don't feel good, I don't feel right, I'm really tired or, just over it, then you might be at the point where you're recognizing that you're emotionally exhausted. And I think it's great to be taking ownership of that awareness. It's so important. Remember that it's not just because of outward demands, it's important that we are willing to find our own balance and say, that's something that I really haven't been working on, and that's the part that I have to do. And, bringing it to God and just saying, God, I need to find more balance here, and I'm exhausted. I understand now because I've just overdone it for too long. It might take a long time, it did for me, to feel like you move out of that phase of being over it, because I was over it for a long time. But it's okay, because sometimes the extreme that you've been in giving and emotionally exhausting yourself for so long needs the balance of a long rest period, a period of allowing for yourself to say, it's okay that I don't give. It's okay. I hope that that's something that you can get comfortable with, because I really do believe, since balance is our natural state and balance is part of what we're meant to do all the time, that God is validating us there. God is supporting us in saying it's okay to pull back. And it's okay to seek, more importantly, this sense of equilibrium here. When you find that, and as you continue to nurture and cultivate that, you will again go outward and you will give, but you will find that you are not as emotionally exhausted. You have changed the narrative deep within yourself, and it has, the outward giving is going to look the same to anybody who is receiving, but you will know that it doesn't exhaust you in the same way anymore. And I just really hope that that's encouraging, because I do think it's an important aspect of our own balance journey. If you want to go deeper with the ideas of, what overcoming emotional exhaustion can involve, because you are noticing that you're resentful or you're depressed, then I definitely want to encourage you to check out my videos on those subjects in my Navigating Emotions playlist. I've been through some of those things. I've shared what has helped me, and I hope that those will encourage you as you find more balance and you overcome your own emotional exhaustion. So don't give up, keep moving forward, and I'll see you in the next video.